Hey everyone. Man, that latest episode was heavy, wasn't it? They made me cry again. I didn't even think that was possible to make a show based off a game I've played so many times make me cry over and over again. Also, before we jump into it, I want to say thank you for all the continued support everybody's been giving me. You can also help my channel grow by becoming a member to get exclusive badges and emojis on YouTube. Also in the description, I have a link to my Discord channel if you would like to join in on the fun as well and all the conversations we have of not only NieR, but games and other anime as well. But with that, I have some theories to talk about, so let's talk about it. The episode opens up with Pascal fighting Engels, which, in my opinion, I thought it was so much cooler watching the fight in the anime than playing it in the game. Pascal ended up annihilating that machine. His blast also knocked out A2 though. After the opening theme plays, we see Pod revive A2. He performed triage on the damage done, and I was a little surprised by her response. She apologized to Pod, and then Pod said, actually, in this situation, gratitude is better than an apology. She actually gets ready to thank him, but then Pascal comes in, and Pascal apologizes for causing A2 problems. But then they get a call from Lily and the camp is under attack, and we just see a horde of infected attacking other members. Lily's underground trying to call for help. Then we see a flashback to the machine children dropping the music box. This is the same music box that they fought over back in episode 5. But then you see the machine say, "I'm scared," and his eyes are flickering red. Then we see the resistance has been busy fortifying the camp. Lily brings up that they've lost contact with Yorha, so they have to go back to their old strategies before Yorha. When the resistance members get back from taking the children to the container to keep them safe, they start to collapse one by one. An infection is beginning to spread across the camp, and we start to hear in the background the song Bipolar Nightmare, which is a very fitting for what we are watching right now. We see the infection spread so fast, even if they try to stay away, they get infected. Then Jackass makes an appearance by driving a truck through the building, and the weapons trader and supply trader are there as well. And guess what? They still don't have names. Come on, Yoko Taro, you're not even going to give them names? Devola and Popola begin to heal the infected. Lily asks how are things outside, and Jackass says she thinks the only ones that are sane are right there in that room. And god damn is that heavy. Only the handful of them left, and they can't heal the other ones outside. There's either too many of them or the infection is too deep. Jackass asks where the infection came from, and Lily said it's from the children machine life forms. And then they talk about the next move, and the weapons trader actually makes a reference to Miss Accord. The supply trader is like, who is this Afford person? Lily tells them that they need to hop in the truck and leave, and she will cover them. Lily is being a good leader to her team and wants her team to escape, as it is the leader's role to take care of the infected. But her team won't let her do it alone. They ask Lily for orders, and the orders are that they cannot let anyone escape the camp. And you hear the background music of city ruins. Lily tells Devola and Popola that they need to leave. They start to refuse, but Lily says that they are on life-saving duty. They need to heal anyone they can. Lily says on the on-off chance that you two are gone, who will tend to everyone's wounds? And this was one of the best moments of this anime in my opinion. Lily thanks them for everything they've done up to this day. And then so did Jackass and the rest of the resistance, and I swear I was crying with the twins in this moment. Lily then says, who would have thought our final enemy isn't machine life forms? Isn't this a drag, Captain Rose? And then we see the resistance prepare to fight. And now we're already at the hidden reports. Report 1 says, all things with form will perish. Okay, what? All things with form will perish? Even if it's a group deferred to as us, the same fate awaits. Okay, obviously things are going bad in this show. Could say, definitely worse than the game. So my thought with these reports is branch C from Drakengard 3, how it ended badly, so they had to seal off the branch. But at the same time, with branch D, that was also looking like a doomed branch. But because Accord interfered with it, they got a different outcome as we know the true ending of Drakengard 3. I do not know how this series is going to end at this point. I don't think it's going to do ending C and D. I think we'll just get something new altogether. But also, this has me kind of thinking about the Human Instrumentality Project from Neon Genesis Evangelion. I don't know, something about that first thing saying all things with forms will perish. It just gives me Neon Genesis vibes or Childhood Ends vibes. What do you guys think? We're back to 9S and he doesn't look so good. He's in a field of red flowers and the last resource unit is up in the air and he can't reach it. Then all of a sudden a machine falls in front of him asking a riddle. He says, what is something that everyone always encounters, but is something you cannot witness for yourself? I mean, the answer is death. And they confirm that when 9S kills the machine. Then the tower comes down, and 9S sees a flight unit, and it's confirmed to be 2B's flight unit. Then the TV says God Box. And 9S says like they have any right to talk about God. But interesting thing enough, if you think about it, androids served their gods, being humans, and the machines served aliens. I don't know, that was just something that I noticed. Also in the game, Godbox is the resource unit that is normally at the amusement park. This resource unit is where you hear the machines begging for their lives, and 9S fights Operator 210, and A2 saves him. This is also after we have wiped out Pascal's memories after the children had died in the game. We see that the machines put a core in the flight unit, but then all of a sudden we start hearing the recording of 2B. It was the same message from the game.
This is your high unit 2B. If anyone is listening to this, there's something I need you to do. If you ever meet up with your high unit 9S, I want him. I'm sorry. Please just give him the following message. 9S. The time I was able to spend with you, it was like memories of pure light. Thank you. 9.
End of message.
But then after 9S hears that message, he destroys the core that's inside the unit, and then he passes out. The last passcode was Memories of Light. All 3 passcodes are things that 2B have said in the past. Episode 1, she talks about the curse that they are in.
Everything that lives is designed to end. We are perpetually trapped in a never-ending spiral of life and death. Is this a curse? Or some kind of punishment?
And then episode 16, she talks about her sin.
Something dear to me. I kept breaking it. My sin.
And we just heard Memories of Light message. I wonder what more they're going to do with this, because this wasn't in the game, so I'm very curious on what they're going to do with this. Now we're back to A2 and Pascal rushing back to the resistance camp, and we see everyone that was infected has been defeated. Then we see Lily walking around, and A2 finds her, but it's unfortunately too late. She's infected again. A2 wants to treat her, but it's too late. Pascal asks where is the source of the infection, and Lily says it's the children. Lily says they are in a container in the back, and Pascal goes to them. A2 starts to run to Lily, but she tells her to stop and asks for help because she's losing control. And I swear, looking at A2, she's gonna start to cry right here. But then I started to cry. A2 tells Lily that she got the name Phrygia from Rose in the end, and she grabs Rose's gun and aims it at Lily. Lily says, "We really did become a family," and smiles and says, "Thank you, Phrygia," and A2 fires. Yep, still crying. Pascal finds the children, and it's worse than the suicide from the game in my opinion. You see the machines have been eaten, and one of the children you see with its red eyes, he said he was scared and the music box broke and he was scared to die alone, so he ate them so that they would be together forever, that they would be friends forever. Pascal says this was because he taught them fear of dying. Just like in the game, he was facing his own wretchedness. But as the English dub came out today for episode 18, I was rewatching it, and A2 also teaches them a lesson about being together is better than being alone. And I can't help but think that this was also a factor to this outcome. Also, looking at the child machine, it's acting like Ariok from Drakengard 1. Ariok was originally an ordinary housewife living in Nilfheim. However, one day her beloved husband and son were slaughtered by the Imperial army, the shock of which completely shattered her heart. Having been overcome by her insanity, Ariok murdered and devoured young children. Her crazed mind thought that by doing so could protect them within her womb. Ariok is also based off of the demon. The demon served Lucifer in the war against heaven. Also, her character is based off of Neon Genesis Evangelion character Ritsuko. Also, I can appreciate the fact that they are keeping true to the moment of A2 and Pascal have to face their own wretchedness. Just like in the game, Pascal is facing his own wretchedness for teaching them fear, and A2 had to face her own wretchedness with Lily. She had to choose between putting Lily out of her own misery, or she could have potentially let her go and just wander the earth forever, or she could have potentially tried to save her. Pascal fixes the music box and then picks up the child, and the child is excited that he fixed it and asks if they can fix everyone else. Pascal says, of course. But the child machine takes a bite out of Pascal, and Pascal is now becoming infected. Pascal says, I'm sorry, Miss A2. I have to entrust everything to you. First 2B and now Pascal have entrusted the future to A2, which makes me wonder what this future will look like. Pascal self-destructs, and you see A2 and Pod standing by Lily's body. Pod confirms that Pascal's signal is gone. And I have seen some reactions on how they wish A2 had more of a reaction in this moment, but I think her silence is showing emotions as well. We see that everyone in the resistance is dead. You see Pascal's arm slowly close. You even see Jackass's remains, and that music from the music box is still playing, and man, my tears just did not stop. Then we see Lily with a smile, and A2 leaves a flower on her, and it is a lily. What's crazy with this is now that they show Jackass is also dead, that means we will not get the machine reports. Jackass investigated the machine network after the tower collapses. I imagine this has to have some crazy impact as well. But also, with Pascal gone, he eventually is the one that creates the official ceasefire agreement between the army of humanity and the peaceful machine life forms. And now we're back to 9S, and Pod is reactivating 9S. The tower system you can hear throughout the area, and they're saying that now that he has all the codes, the tower is open, and that we welcome you all. And 9S and A2 begin to head to the tower. I think this is also why we didn't see much emotion from her. While she is grieving and processing, she hears the tower, and I think just like the game, we see her step outside of the factory, and before she can even process what to do next, she hears the tower's communication speak. So now she is on a mission. But I also think her silence was emotion as well. We all handle grief differently, and we saw from these last few episodes her grief that she's been dealing with for the last 4 years. And then now we see that the pods are sharing reports on 9S and A2 status. They're basically recapping these last few episodes. Even Pod is trying to understand what these passcodes mean and has been searching through 9S's memories as well as the human server for information, but so far no luck. But man, this episode was heavy. That's the best way I can describe how I feel right now. Just seeing everyone die and then Pascal leaving the future to A2, I feel like that was also heavy. I feel for A2. We saw her lose her family 4 years ago. Then we see the machine life forms also she started to grow attached to, and we saw her reaction in the last episode when she thought that she had lost them all. I think now she's mission driven again, and I think we'll see more of her grief play out in these next few episodes. Her and 9S just both continue to lose and lose and lose. And now, what the outcome will be anyone's guess at this point. Since there's no more puppet episode, I will say the episode title is No Man's Village, and that is when you run around Pascal's village and kill everyone in the village, which in this episode, both the Resistance and Machine Life Forms are No Man's Village now. That definitely hit a little bit hard. With that, we've finished the episode. I know this video is a little short, as this episode has taken a completely different turn. Obviously, there's not much to compare it to with the novels and the games. So this episode is just now giving my theories on what's going to happen. What is everyone's thoughts on this episode? Any theories on what's going to happen next? I don't have a definitive answer, obviously, like the rest of us. But I'm still leaning towards something similar to Branch D in Drakengard 3, where it was a doomed ending, but it turned around in the very last minute. So I think we're going to see something along those lines. Also, this episode is proving my point that I've stated before about how the opening for this season is more of a teaser or more of eye candy for us who have played the game, because it's playing out differently. But let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time.